So hey guys, I'm in my kitchen tonight. I know it's almost 11 o'clock at night, but I'm actually starting supper. And so I thought I would stop in and say hello. I'm going to be doing a growing seeds without grow lights video. At some point I'll be doing that live, I think. Hello to everybody that's tuned in. I'm cutting up Brussels sprouts right now, and I'm going to bake those. And I have some blue potatoes here and some kosher salt. I'm going to add some seasoning, and then I've got a piece of meat back here that I'm bringing to room temperature. So just kind of waiting to see who's on and if they have any questions for me tonight. The blog updates are coming along very nicely. Hi, Stacy. So I'm very, very happy about that. It's definitely been a lot of work. And so that's what my project today has been. Jeffrey has just a crazy work schedule this week, so I'm going to be spending more time alone than what I usually do, but I guess that's okay. Let's see, what else? I don't know how many of you are starting seeds inside, but since Laura has asked for this video, like I said, we are going to do it. I do need to get my thoughts together because I know you can do winter seed sowing and you're not going to have the issue of them getting leggy because of course you're doing that outside. You do need containers, 2-liter pop bottles or empty milk cartons, things like that. And the full tutorial for that is over on my blog. But it's real simple. You just wash them out and get them clean. And drill, let's see, let me think. It's 6 holes in the bottom and 6 holes in the top. Put your soil in, sprinkle your seeds on top, put tape around the cut, and set those outside in a protected area. And come spring, the perennials, because they have to be perennials, some half-hardy annuals will work. But if you've never done it before, stick with your perennials. And come spring, those will come up. Super easy to do. Let's see, I have never tasted Brussels sprouts or whatever you call those things. I don't think they taste like cabbage. I am actually going to roast these. Aren't they so adorable? When you buy these, you want to buy the tiny ones. Or if you're going to grow them, you don't want to harvest them until after frost has hit them because it sweetens them. But I think they're very good. And the seasonings that I put on these, they taste kind of spicy because I put some red pepper flakes on them. And I put a little oregano, a little sea salt, and a little bit of pepper. And sometimes a touch of garlic. Martha Stewart said to put a little bit of honey on them, so I do. And then I put a little butter. Just pop them in the oven. I should be preheating my oven. I'm really with it tonight. Let me get that preheated to 400. Oops, not 405, 400. And I really like these. Once you get used to eating seasonally, and these are a very seasonal item, then you're going to start getting, your body's going to start getting the taste for things that are seasonal. And right now that's things like chard, Brussels sprouts, kale, all of your winter vegetables. I wanted sauerkraut, and unfortunately the last jar that I had made, the seal came loose on. So I was real unhappy about that because I won't get to make any more until next fall. And I know I have seen a lot of questions from you guys out there about tapping the maple trees. Hi, Jennifer. And about the fact that the sap is frozen and is it any good right now? It is still good, okay? It does not go bad when it's frozen, and many people freeze their maple sap, walnut sap, whatever, and take the ice out and put it in their garden because that has a lot of nutrients, and that ice is really just water that's going to boil away anyway. So needless to say, my buckets on my trees are sitting froze solid. My buckets outside that I was boiling down are frozen solid. It's going to warm up this weekend, so I'm just going to keep an eye because I want to start Cooking that down again before all of the ice gets out of it, because if it does get too hot, it will spoil, but cold's not a problem at all. And yes, you can drink the sap. You do not have to boil it down. Very full of nutrients and all kinds of good things. So like I said, not a problem. This weather is not a problem at all. That sap was so flowing so fast when we started tapping that I didn't think I was going to be able to keep up. So I'm kind of glad for the colder weather now. And also, for those of you that don't know, these Brussels sprouts are going in my compost bin because they are perfect green compost material. You need a mix of green and brown. And if you don't have an area that you compost in, that you can compost in because of where you live or whatever, if you have plants in your yard and you can dig the soil, and I know it's froze solid right now, but if you can dig the soil, then dig a little hole and bury this stuff in the ground around the roots of your plants. It'll compost. You can also just throw it on the ground, but again, if you're in an area that you don't have a compost pile, you might have a problem with that. So, 2 more to go. And then I'm going to show you guys how I do this, and I'm going to show you how I do my potatoes. Absolutely love them baked in salt. This is kosher salt, by the way, and no, they're not going to be salty. And you can also do carrots this exact same way. But you want to get smaller carrots. I'm telling you, we went to Fort Wayne to Fresh Thyme, and we got the nicest produce. Absolutely the nicest. And today I had to go to Meijer, and some of the vegetables they sell there are just not very nice. They're just not very fresh. Not real happy about that because I really, really like fresh vegetables. I'll be right back. I got to put this in my compost bin, which is, of course, across the room. This is what I get for having such a small kitchen. Okay. All right. So I have my Brussels sprouts here. I cut them in half. You want to do this if you're going to roast them. Let me go grab some butter. I want to use this. Okay, so I'm going to put just about that much butter. I'm going to take my misto. I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil on here. You want about 3 tablespoons of oil, butter, whatever it is you're going to do. So I'm going to just do that. And this is really just to help it brown, I think. I'm going to take, this is actually a Tuscan sea salt. There's some herbs in there. And I'm just going to grind it. I use an electric one because these herbs can be really, really hard to grind. And I have this one. I hope you're liking this, Jennifer. I'm going to put a little sprinkling of black pepper. About, 6 to 8 grinds. Okay. I'm going to show you guys kind of what that looks like. I don't know how well you can see it. But just kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to do a little sprinkling of garlic powder. Okay. I'm going to do a little sprinkling of oregano. Okay. And I'm going to do just, it's probably too much, just about that much red pepper. I know you can't see that very good. Oh, that grinder is so wonderful, Jennifer. I'm so glad you like that. Let's see, oregano, garlic, pepper. Okay, and for Martha Stewart's secret ingredient, a little bit of honey. I don't really know if it's her secret ingredient, but she did say to put honey on Brussels sprouts, and it really does make a difference. And I just drizzle it. You don't want too much because it's going to make it super sweet. Okay, so put that up. Okay, so these are kind of what they look like, if you can tell from that, the amount of seasoning. And now we're going to do something that I hate. Let me find another paper towel. Okay, and the reason I hate this is because I hate peeling garlic. But Jeff did show me a secret to peeling garlic, and I'm going to show you because it has helped me. Okay, I'm going to do about 3 garlic cloves. Okay, what he showed me is you turn it the flat end up, and again, I know you can't always see that, and you can peel it right here. And this is the pointy end, that's the top, this is the bottom. And he showed me how to get a hold of that down there, and the garlic cloves peel very nicely. I used to have just such a time and never could figure out quite how to peel them right. So you see how quick and easy that was. I'm going to do 3 of these. Well, I think I'm going to do 3 of these. That one is pretty hard. Okay, there we go. All right. And my fermented garlic that I'm making is actually still fermenting. I don't know if you guys can see that. All those bubbles in there. But still going. So I'm just leaving it. I have absolutely loved the ginger bug that I made. And of course I have that in the refrigerator. And I strain a 1/4 cup of that out. I put it in a quart jar. And I fill it up with, okay, sorry about that. It paused for some reason. Okay, and the little gadget I have, oh, okay, thank you, Jennifer. I didn't know that you could use a baby food jar or jelly jar and shake it to get the garlic skin off. But I have this little gadget. You can see what it looks like in there. And I'm just going to pop my garlic in. I'm just going to crush it. Absolutely love this. I do need to tell you, I did get this item for free or at a reduced price in exchange for my honest review. All opinions are my own. So now I've given you the FTC disclosure. But what I want to show you is when you get done, this is what it looks like. You can take your fingers, your knife, or whatever, and just slide that little bit off. Or Jeff will just keep popping the lid and it comes off. So I'm going to sprinkle that on top of this salt. Like I said, just a little garlic, not much. And I'm going to add just a pinch of thyme. Okay. All right, about like that. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Again, I'm using the Tuscan salt tonight. Okay, oops. Okay, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to cover both of these with foil, clean my mess up, pop them in the oven, 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. And for my steak, I have my piece of meat in telling like this. And if you're wondering what that's for, right there is what that's for. When you take the blood off the piece of meat by soaking it up like this, it tenderizes your meat. And it just, I don't know how it works, but Jerry's mom actually told me that. And I'm going to put a little butter in here to cook my steak in. And it absolutely works. And I'll be right back. I need to run and get my foil. Okay. I don't use foil a lot. I use parchment paper whenever I can. But some things you just need foil for. Now on the potatoes, you can put saran wrap, and it has to be the original saran wrap underneath, and then cover the foil. Hello, Anita or Nicole. And that will work just fine. But make sure you use the original saran wrap or it will melt on your food. And make sure it is completely covered in foil, because again, if you don't, it's going to melt on your food. All right, I'm putting these on the very bottom rack of my oven down here. Okay, I set my timer for 40 minutes. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to turn this on about a 5. I'm going to throw a little thyme in here. This up. Okay, oops, I need the garlic. I'm going to put a little garlic powder in here. Again, I'm sticking with the Tuscan salt Himalaya tonight. Okay. And I'm going to grind up a little bit of pepper. About 6 to 8 turns. Okay. Alright. And so this is about what it looks like in my pan with the seasonings. I want the butter to kind of absorb the flavor. Okay. I don't need a lot of grease. I do need to tell you, I did receive this pan for free or at a reduced price in exchange for my honest review. This is the Ozeri Green Earth Pan. Thank you, Maya. I feel so silly saying that all the time, but I really do have to. You do not have to use grease in this pan. Once you season it, and I seasoned it with toasted sesame oil, it is good to go. So easy to clean up. Literally, take it to the sink and rinse it out just like cast iron. Only better, because it's not as heavy. But once I get this melted, and I shouldn't have used this, I should have got a spatula instead of using my Brussels sprout one. Alright, I'm tired of walking across the room for the paper towels. So they now stay over here. Okay. I usually set it over here, so let's hope I don't knock the camera off. My kitchen is super tiny. For those of you that have been here and seen it, you know what I'm saying. It's awful. Okay. So what I want to do, like I said, I'm going to mix the butter. Hi, Jessica. And the seasonings, just like that. That's all I want in there. Okay, seriously. I'm going to take my piece of meat, and I'm going to put it in here. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to throw this away. Please excuse the mess behind me. And I will be right back because I'm going to wash this off my hands. I just don't think you can be too clean in the kitchen. I don't like cross-contamination of my food, and so I'm very particular. Jeff says I'm the most particular person he's ever met. So, what can I say? So, like I said, we're going to cook this for 40 minutes, and the potatoes and the Brussels sprouts are going to cook. I won't take those out till they're done, which 37 more minutes on them. And that's pretty much it. I'm only going to turn this piece of meat once, because here's what I learned about that. And this is especially true for things like fried chicken. The less you turn your meat, the less grease it's going to absorb. I got that from Hints from Heloise. I'm not kidding. In the, I think it was in the scrapbook my grandmother gave me when I was 18 of tips that she had saved off, or saved up. It is now falling apart because I have literally read that book cover to cover, front to back. Another great tip that I got, if you've ever spilled wax on your carpeting and you don't know how to get it up, well, let me tell you how to do that. put a towel, a white towel, down. Get your iron. Iron the top of your towel where that wax is, and the wax is going to end up on your towel. And if you get it off very quickly while it's still hot, it's going to peel right off there. So, thank you, Maya. So questions for me. I'm kind of watching the comments section to see if any of you do have questions. So, all right, if not, I'm going to say good night, Facebook. I'll post a picture of the food when it's done. How's that? I hope you all have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, we're going to do a how to grow seedlings without a grow light video. I'm just not sure what day, because I want to get all my thoughts together so I don't miss telling you guys something that might be really important. All right, everybody. Can you boil the sprouts? What is that, a skirt steak? Okay, hold on. Stacy, you can boil the sprouts, but I bake them because I don't like them boiled. I found out when you put the seasonings that I put on them, okay, with sausage and green beans, I don't know. I have never done that. Honestly, I have had it boiled with butter, and I just don't like them. I think it does something to the Brussels sprouts to have them kind of fried and crispy, and they're going to turn brown. They're going to turn very, very brown, and that is so good. And something else that I learned, if you want to peel those Brussels sprouts and take them off like chips, you can do them the same way, not as long, but you'll have Brussels sprout chips, which are kind of like kale chips, which are really good, by the way. Not those crappy kale chips you buy in the store. Forget that. Those things are awful as far as I'm concerned. But when I make my own kale chips using my dehydrator, they are absolutely the best. I put my own, a little garlic and a little salt and a little pepper, and that's all you need. And just dehydrate those babies. I also do that with cucumbers. But the only thing I do with the cucumbers, I slice them real thin, I put a little salt and pepper on them, and I dehydrate them. And oh my gosh, those are so good to just snack on or eat in a salad. I mean, really good. And Jennifer, this is actually a round steak. We got it at the, is it buy 5 for $19.99 at Lance's? So you can get 5 packages of meat, I think, for $19.99. And they do have round steak. They have pork, chicken, beef, fish. And so if you're on a budget and you really can't afford a lot of food and you want to have meat, Lance's is the place to go. Now, I know it's not organic meat, but sometimes you can't help that, because I can't always get up to Silver Lake, which is the place that I go to get my grass-fed, local-grown organic meat. But I can't always get up there, especially with Jeff's hours that he works. Hi, David. And so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because it's cooking a little too fast to suit me. And I am not turning the piece of meat. I am just brushing some of the buttered herbs up against it. Okay. And the reason, if I didn't say this, the reason that I put my herbs and my butter in my pan and mix them up first, I think that flavor absorbs into that butter, and I just think it gives it a better flavor. If you have ice cube trays, but I have special little herb trays that I use, but you can use ice cube trays. If you make some herb butter, and it's just butter and the herbs that you want, go in small quantities, because as it freezes, that taste is going to really infuse in that butter. But you can freeze the butter in little cubes and just pull them out and pop them in your pan. That is the same thing that they are selling at the store in those, I think it's Land O'Lakes. It's a little package that you get, and it has like maybe 6 little, hold on, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Because I have some, okay, where is mine? Yeah, okay. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can do this at home. Take your butter, take your herbs, blend them up, food processor blender, by hand, whatever you got. And this is about the size of what those are. Okay, like I said, the ones I make are a little smaller because I have specialized, but ice cube trays will work fine. You can cut them in half if you don't want that much. Same thing, saves you a ton of money. I'll be right back. I need to put this away. And, okay. Alright, so what other things would you guys like to see? Because I know some of you have been asking for cooking videos. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this over now. I'm not going to turn it again at all. And I'm going to show you guys, okay, what we already have here. Okay, this is what we have. You guys can see nothing is sticking to this pan. It is absolutely the best pan. I have two of these now. One I have had for 2 years. This is the Green Earth Ozeri pan. And absolutely love this. So like I said, I'm turning my heat down. I'm just going to leave this go. And that's it. I do not stand over my stove and slave. There is no way. I don't have time, okay? I like things that are quick and easy to put together in the stove, on the oven. Get your heat setting right, and it's perfect. Okay, great tip for you guys. Normally, I would be sous videing the meat, but I didn't get it started, and like I said, it's almost midnight here. I'm hungry. I know Jeff fixed me a pot pie before he went to. Okay, I really needed some real food because I'm not much on the processed food. So anyway, like I said, when this is done, about 30 minutes, I will post a photo on Facebook for all of you guys. I've got a call coming in, so I've got to get off here and take it. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Bye. What I want to do is I'm going to take this steak out of here. Okay, I'm going to flip it. Okay, nice and brown. Okay, I want to show you my pan. Look at that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I have made a little bit of butter with a little bit of smoked sea salt. I could have smoked it myself, but I didn't. This particular sea salt is aged in a wine barrel and then smoked. I put a little thyme and a little garlic, and I'm going to spread this over the top of my piece of steak. I'm going to set it on my back burner here. I'm going to make a tent out of aluminum foil. Okay. I do not want this closed. I just want this tented. Okay. So this is kind of, you can see there's openings for steam to escape. I want this to set for at least 10 minutes. I have 11 minutes left on everything else. So this is going to be ideal timing. What this does is the butter is going to put an additional layer of flavor on the piece of meat as it melts. It tastes really good when you eat it. If you guys haven't tried this, definitely try it. And it just really, it finishes cooking the meat and allows it to cool to a nice temperature. It was a little tip that I picked up in one of my chef classes that I took. Guess I shouldn't call them chef classes, I should call them cooking classes. But any type of meat, if you can let it set tented for about 10 minutes, that's great. And what I'm going to do now, with about 10 minutes left, I'm going to pull the Brussels sprouts out. Okay. I'm going to leave those potatoes in there cooking. I'm going to very carefully take the foil off because you don't want to burn yourself with the steam. Okay. And I don't know if you guys can see that steam rising, but these are really very, very hot. And I'm going to stir these now. Okay. This is what they're starting to look like right there. Now I'm going to put these back in without the foil because as I said, what I want to do is get these to, my little oven edgings are coming off, so I've got to get those back on. But I want these to kind of brown up a little bit. Okay. So we have that done, and we have about 9 minutes to go. You can fry Brussels sprouts. I know Stacy had asked me about boiling them, but you can actually fry them too using the same seasonings or whatever seasonings you want. And they do taste really good. Like I said, adding that crispy layer to the Brussels sprouts really adds an element of flavor, and I just think really takes them over the top. When Jeff came here to live, he wasn't sure about Brussels sprouts, and he tried some, and he really likes them now. So, I guess I'm waiting to see if any of you actually come in as logged in. I know some of you are watching, and so kind of waiting to see if there's any questions or anything about these steps so far. Like I said, normally I would cook my meat sous vide style, and then the only thing I would use the skillet for would be to sear it when it came out to add that little crunchy layer. But I didn't feel like waiting, and I didn't get it done, and sometimes using the water bath can be a hassle. I'm actually using a crock pot, a programmable crock pot for my sous vide machine instead of an actual sous vide machine. And it works, you know, it's a cheaper way to do it, you know, $50 versus $500. Some things have not turned out for me. Like I tried to make rustic mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes just did not turn out at all. I have tried some vegetables in it. Those did okay. Meat does just, wow. If you have a problem eating meat because of how tough it is, then you want to cook sous vide style. Basically 140 degrees, you seal your meat in I have a food saver, so I seal mine in those plastic food saver bags. I heat seal them, and I vacuum the air out. All of my spices go in the bag, and then I put them in my crock pot, and I program it to 140 degrees. Now mine, I have to check about every 12 hours. It says it'll go 14 hours, but I don't want to chance it. So I go about every 12 hours and I check it, and just reprogram it. It will say 165 when you program it to 140, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. Initially it won't say that, but after it's ran and you reprogram it the first time, it's going to. And just the difference in the meat. A lot of restaurants use sous vide because of how tender you can get the meat. The other thing that I really love doing instead of using a frying pan is using my Himalayan salt block to sear my meat on. When I first got it, I had some problems because I have an electric stove. And the way that we have solved this is I have a heat diffuser that I bought at Williams Sonoma. And I just set that on top of my stove burner and put my Himalayan salt block on top. I start my oven or my stovetop on low, and I slowly move it up to about 5. That's about halfway. And I start about an hour early because I don't try to force my salt block to heat up real fast because they can crack. And I don't want that to happen. You can use salt blocks on the grill too. And I did put mine on after my grill had died down a little bit. And it does not make your food taste salty. Another thing that you can do with them is you can tenderize your meat. Lay your meat on the salt block 10 minutes per side, and then just cook it. Now, when I do that, I don't add extra salt to my food. Like I said, you're not going to get a salty taste, but you are going to get the minerals. And that salt block does something to the meat to break it down and really, really tenderize and give it a great flavor. So we have about 5 minutes here. I don't know if Maya or anybody's going to stop back in. I'm kind of hoping so, because I know she said she wanted to see this, and I know I said, hi, Maya. I know I said I'd take a picture, but then I got to thinking that seeing it live might be better. So, I'm sure that my butter is all melted under this tent back here by now. And, normally I would be cleaning up my frying pan right now. I think I'm just going to walk over, and because like I said, all we're going to do is rinse this out, and then I'll be back and I'm going to show you guys how easy this is. This is still hot, so I'm going to use hot water. Okay, let me grab a paper towel here. And like I said, all I did was rinse this under the faucet. I'm just going to wipe it out with a paper towel. I'm going to show you that paper towel. Oh, good, Maya. Okay. Just want to make sure it's dry. Have you ever seen a pan clean up that easily other than a cast iron pan? I did not scrub this, not at all. Rinsed it out, dried it off. You can see my paper towel. It's clean. All right. I know these pans are expensive if you're buying them, but I'm absolutely telling you, hi Danielle, the best investment for a pan if you want easy cleanup, and we all do. I mean, none of us have time to slave away in a kitchen. You know, we all got better things to do, and anything that makes my life easier, that's what I'm going to be talking about and recommending to you guys. It's just how I feel. Okay, I'm going to check. I have about 2 minutes left, but I'm going to go ahead and take these sprouts out because they're done. Okay. You absolutely do not want to overcook Brussels sprouts. They are nasty if they get overcooked. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm going to stir these up. And then I'm going to show you guys. This was my mother's pan, and I have scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed it. But, look at that. Do those look good? The brown around the bottom is from the sprouts cooking, but the brown around the top I haven't been able to get off. But she had this pan my entire life. I don't even know what kind of pan it is. I think it's Corning. Some of you might recognize it. She had this pan my entire life, as long as I can ever remember. She gave it to me when I was 18, and I'm now 46, and I have used this pan and used this pan, and I know that's awful, but I'm telling you, when I get a product that I like, it stays with me forever. Okay, we got about 17 minutes left, seconds, sorry. I'm going to turn the timer off. I'm going to pull these out, because these are smaller potatoes, and my bet is they are done. Okay. Are you guys getting excited? Okay. Again, be careful when you open this foil because there's going to be a lot of steam. It's going to be hot. You don't want to burn yourself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Look at that. Those are done. Okay. Now what you're supposed to do, and I think I'm just going to use this piece of foil because it's convenient. Don't burn yourself. You take these out. You can, I'm going to have to go get some gloves. Hold on. Okay, I'm not going to do it tonight because I want to eat. I'm hungry. But you can brush these with a little butter or a little olive oil. Put it back in your oven at 450 degrees for just a minute or two, and it's going to give these a really crispy coating. Like I said, these are going to be fine. You do want to brush the excess salt off. And like I said, these are really, really hot. But if you don't get the salt off when they are hot, it is the biggest pain. And the same thing if you're doing carrots like this, get that salt off of them just as quickly as you can. These are actual food grade gloves that I bought, so when I worked with my isomalt, I didn't have a problem. Okay. And now, got one more potato after this one. These are so soft. What is really good in these, and I didn't make any because I was making butter for the meat, a little bit of butter and rosemary mixed up together. And just put them in like that. Now, I'm going to give you a gardening tip. You see all this kosher salt that's left? Go sprinkle it out in your garden in areas where you have poison ivy or weeds. It will kill it. It's not going to be instant, but it will kill it. So great reuse of that. Not in your compost pile unless you want to kill everything, but just in areas that you have a problem with. All right, I'm taking the foil off of this. What do you guys think of that? Does that look good, Maya? Okay. And I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely ready to eat. I imagine the rest of you ate some hours ago. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pick myself a couple of these potatoes and cut myself a piece of this meat. And I don't need to put any sauce or anything because I have already put the herb butter on it. Okay. And I'm going to cut these open because I want to show you guys. And I'm just going to put plain butter on these tonight. Hi, Charlie. Charlie is sitting down here. Let me get my butter, guys. Okay. Alrighty. Just a little. These don't need a lot. I absolutely love blue potatoes. They have a very different flavor. Okay. All right. And I think I will put a small sprinkling of, well, you should come over sometime, Maya. This is the Tuscan salt, again, the Tuscan sea salt. And I'm going to put just a sprinkling of pepper. Okay. All right. And I'm ready to go sit down and eat. There you guys go. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Have a great night.